Hey guys, happy Thursday to everyone. You guys have a good week? Hey Ginger, Cash, Alice, Lily. Hey, new faces. I know some of you were here last week. All right, so I hear, after this class I have a meeting about what are we going to do to get school back together, So I think we're a couple weeks away from going into the next phase of whatever this is, right? All right, so today I have some cool things to show you. They're cool in the oh, that's kind of cool kind of a way, and not cool in the Captain Richard gets hit in the face with a pie kind of a way. So less silly, more serious, but more fun in terms of now you actually know some things, So it'll be good. Lots of homework to do. Yeah, your teacher's hitting you with homework? I hope not, I hope that things are more fun than they are just bogged down with work, Well, for this class, you get to just join in and have a good time. We're going to talk about some more advanced things today, things that won't be, I think you're old enough to appreciate. So last week we did some more silly things like masks and things like that, things that weren't really scientific, and I wanted to get more into giving you real stuff so that you can have real decision-making power for yourself. One of the real tricky things about this pandemic, and maybe you have experienced this already, is that a lot of people think they really kind of know what's going on. And that has kind of led to some kind of dangerous situations in our society, right? So what I'm going to give to you today is information. And you have to be careful with that because you've heard the phrase over and over, information is power, right? So I want you to be careful because I don't want you to take a little bit of information and be like, I know everything now, I'm right, you're wrong. No. What I want you to take away with today is that, here are some pieces that I can begin to open my understanding about what this disease is, okay? Got it, guys? You're all probably like, what is he talking about? I'm bored already. All right, you have, let's go over learning targets real quick. 1, I know the importance of having good sources of information. I know the importance of having good sources of information. 2, I have good sources of information. Your first task today is to look at learning target number 1 and learning target number 2 and think for yourself. Be like, what is the difference between learning target number 1 and learning target number 2? Okay? Why is it important to have good sources of information? And then, can you have some of them? All right? Hi, Dagny. Mila. All right. We are filling it up. That's good. All right. And then third, I know a little bit about herd immunity. Herd immunity is something you've probably heard of, right? But not that kind of herd. Herd as in a herd of cows or a herd of junior high students. Okay. So the first thing I want you to do today is I want you to go to my website, www.mrincorvia.com. Yeah, thank you, Clark, for getting my joke. Go to mrincorvia.com. Type that in right now. There are some links there that I want you to play around with me. There's some things there. So I'll type it in the chat too for you if you want to copy and paste it. There you go. Okay, so we're going to go to mrincorvia.com. Here it is. And you're going to scroll down and you're going to click the orange link right here called links. And the first one we're going to play around. So here's pandemic science. These are the links. The first one we're going to play around with is this virus simulation. So this is a little program that models the spread of a virus. Okay, let me show you how it works. You click this, you set your numbers here, you click setup. So these green people, and I want you to just play around with the numbers and listen to while I talk, okay? The green people are people who are healthy and are not infected with COVID-19, okay? They are just regular people who have no immunity to it. The red people are people who are sick and are currently contagious. So they walk around with no masks, they're right? Whatever. And when they get close to a green person, this green person can become infected and their color will change to red. There will be a third color too, which is gray. Gray are for people who recover from the disease. So when a person is red in the simulation, two things could happen. One, they could die, right? If you're sick with COVID, you could just die. And then you'll just go away. But the second thing is that you likely will live, and then you will have a little bit of immunity because your body figures out how to fight the disease, and then it fights it off. And so for a little bit of time, your body knows how to fight off the disease. And so some diseases you only have to have it once, and then you're done with it. COVID, it's we're not sure. It's still new. We're figuring it out. Okay, so let's run this simulation here. So here you can see the people are walking around. They get infected. They get cured. They, and on and on. So I just want you to watch the simulation for a second, and I want you to look at how the colors go in waves. So it's not like they all are one color, but there are predominant colors. So take a look, so red, gray, green, red, gray, green, red, gray, green, red, gray. Do you see that? See how that's happening? Hello, Oliver. Henry, welcome aboard. Okay. So what's going on here? I'm going to open up this is just the simulation. I'm going to show you the numbers here. So this is the charting of the numbers going on here. The green here is the healthy people. So the higher the number, the more healthy people there are. The lower the number, the more sick people are, okay? The red here, the number of infections. So you can see how they're going in waves, right? So what's happening here is you have a high number of healthy people and a low number of sick people. That makes sense, right? And then the disease spreads. As infections go up, the number of healthy people go down. The people who are sick either then start to die or they recover. And that is what the gray number going up is. These are the immune people. So immune people don't pass the disease anymore. So we're going to change I hope that you are messing around with these numbers right now. That's what I want you to do. Make your own little simulations. There's a couple things I want to show you about how these work. All right. So first, let's take a look at over here. This is the infectionness rate. So this means the more infectious a disease is, the easier it is to spread around. Okay, so let's stop this and we're going to set it up again. This time, we're going to take the infection rate and we're going to, instead of 65%, we're going to lower it to 20%. Okay, let's pretend that everyone wears masks. So instead of being 65% infectious, it's only 20% infectious. It's still possible to get COVID-19 when you wear a mask, but it's harder. Okay, let's watch what happens. Let's drop this down to 20%. What happened to the disease? Even though there's still 20% infection, why would it all go away? It's because the so I mean it shows you the strength of wearing masks. I mean, this is it, guys. I mean, I think that even if we were to, let's set this up again. Hold on, let's set it. Okay, so even if we were to take the infection rate and drop it below 50% to like 40%, let's see what happens. Let's make it go a little faster. Let's make it go really fast. So let's see, 41%. Let's take a look at the numbers here. So you can see that our infection rates are way more manageable right now. We have more healthy people than sick people, right? You can see that like by simply, and that's just lowering, oh, this is like, there we go, 40%. So that's just lowering our infection rate by like 10, 20%. So you can see how important it is that we wear masks. I mean, this is it, guys. You know, life could be pretty normal if we just all wore our masks for a while. Okay? I want to show you some other like interesting examples of that you can mess around with here. Have any of you made some really infectious diseases? So let's say the disease is like 95% infectious. Okay? So that there are diseases like that. Like the measles is like this. Like if you like the R north of measles is like 27, something like that. So that means like for every one person that gets sick with measles, they like infect 27 other people. It's like super infectious, right? So let's watch what that looks like. Okay, so here you can see the like pronounced waves. And maybe you've heard that like, oh, we're in the first wave, we're in the second wave, right? So here you can see the waves really clearly. And as what happens is as more people recover, they are more immune, the numbers drop down. Now, one great way of making more immune people is by having a vaccine. This is, when you see the immunity here, this has nothing to do with having a vaccine. This is all about just recovering from the illness. All right, let's show you some other things. Let's say that the chance of infection, and so the infection rate stays at really high, but instead of a 75% chance of recovering, let's say you only have a 20% chance of recovering. Okay, a 20% chance of recovering. That means if you get sick with the disease, 1 in 5 chance that you live. This is a horrible disease here, okay? Let us see what this looks like. Here we go. So, what happened? You think that, so what happened? It was 95% infectious, meaning it's super infectious, and a very low chance of surviving. Why didn't it wipe out everyone, guys? Why is it like, why is everyone green? It's because the disease burned itself out. Let's pause it. It was the number of healthy people just plummeted. Everyone got sick. And then they all died. So right down here in this little corner, right down here, this is where everyone was, they were all dying. Some people lived. Some people didn't get infected. And then, boom, the disease was wiped out. And everyone just recovered then. Okay? So sometimes really powerful, very deadly diseases just wipe themselves out. That's part of the issue with COVID. COVID is so insipidus in that a lot of people live, but it's very debilitating and you get really sick, but there's a high chance of recovery. It's also really infectious, and people are sick. They're in this red phase, right? They're in this red phase here where they're walking around talking to other people, and they are reinfecting people. So they are these red people for a really long time. So here you can see in a really infectious, high disease, high survivability rate, you can really see the waves happening. Red, immune, healthy, diseased, Jason says, everyone died in mine, which was 90%, 0, and 90%. So let's see. You had 99% infectious. That means everyone's getting it almost, right? And then you had a 0% chance of recovery. Yeah, so that means everyone who gets it is going to die. It's a permanently deadly disease. All right, let's go. Oh, just a few people lived. So like 3 people, they're going to restart all of humanity. Okay? 3 people, they're going to... But now here's the deal. If you have... so let's say the duration lasts longer. So that's the problem with COVID right now. So let's set this up again. Hold on. Let's set this up to look a little more like COVID. So COVID's got like a 75% infectious rate. Chance to recover is pretty low. Chance to recover is pretty high. So let's set that at like 93% chance. Okay. But then the duration, you are sick for like, we'll say, how long do you get quarantined? It's like 14 days quarantine. But then if you're sick, it's like, let's set it at 6 weeks. So let's set this up and let's see. So this is kind of what like COVID looks like here. And it's gone. Okay, so maybe I don't have the numbers right. Because that is not the way it looks. Let's look at some better numbers, okay? Okay, I got this really awesome video here about herd immunity.
When a new disease emerges and starts infecting people in a population.
Now, I might play this at the end, okay? But this is a super cool video, all right? For people who are like, you know what, we just need to let everyone get sick so that we can all have herd immunity. Guys, you're going to see how this video explains very carefully how many people would need to get sick, okay? We would need like 70% of the United States population to get sick, so 7 out of 10. Think of your friends. Think about how, if you count 10 of your friends, 7 of them would have to have COVID and then survive. So I don't think we have had those numbers yet. We have a long way to go to get to that kind of herd immunity. Okay, but this is a really cool video. We'll watch it a little bit later. You can watch that. It's right here on the Mr. Incorvia links, okay? This is the Johns Hopkins COVID dashboard. So click on this guy and mess around with this thing. So Johns Hopkins is a world premier university hospital and like top of the top. And this is their data research on where COVID is happening. Okay. You can see, so when you first load this in, it's going to have, this is the world view. And you know what? I'll put the mobile link right here. This is just the desktop link. So if you're on a Chromebook, this will work for you. If you are on your phone or a tablet, you might be like, oh my goodness, what is this? So I'll put the mobile link on my website too. I forgot about that. So how to use this thing. Down here in the lower right are your charts. So here is the world daily cases. You can see we're still pretty much every day getting more and more sick people every day. Here are the daily deaths. Okay, so we have about, I'd say on average, like, what do we have here? 7,000 people a day die from COVID. It's quite a lot. And then here are the cumulative cases, cumulative deaths, logarithmic cases. Okay, so these are the charts that you look at. And then what you can do is you can select regions over here on the left. So let's click on the United States. Okay, so here is just the United States, and all of the charts update to show you the new information. Okay, so if you ever like, what is the data going on here? This is the premier website to check it all out on. You have number of cases. Here are the daily deaths. You can see that we are about a little over 1,000 people a day die from COVID-19 in America, which is a crazy amount. Cumulative cases, cumulative deaths, logarithmic cases. Okay, so you can see that here we are, our daily infections. You can see it's trending downwards, which is great, but there's some concerning things. One, our numbers here are still higher than our first wave peak. So last spring, when we canceled school, when things was really bad, it's still worse than then. All right. And two, we're coming up into the colder months now. So that means that we're going to have, these infectious diseases become more infectious as we are all hanging out inside and we're doing things like opening schools and businesses again. So the colder months, we might see these numbers kind of go back up. Now, if you're interested in seeing our numbers, you can click on this admin 1 here. So click on the US, and then okay, so there's the US. Then click on this admin 1 tab. This will give you the breakdowns of the various areas. So this is like Idaho. Let's go find Idaho. Where are we? There we are, Idaho. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay, so here is just Idaho. Here are our numbers here. So here you can see we're getting about 200 new cases every single day. We have, let me make this chart a little bigger. We have, so here are our daily deaths. We're having, looks like about 5 people die a day. That's not good. And then our cumulative cases, so we've had about 35,000 cases with just under 450 deaths. Okay. And then what you can do is then you can click on once you're on Idaho, you can click this admin 2 tab and show, like, here's Ada County, right? We can zoom in. And I don't think that these charts update for inside Ada County, but you can see that what the numbers are here. Like Ada County has, wow, we've had 150 deaths in Ada County. It's pretty sad. So, dangerous stuff. And then, okay, real talk. So the next things I'm going to show you are, you got to be kind of adult about them because they are scary numbers. Okay, so everyone just kind of like realize that if you wear your masks, you stay inside, you're going to be okay for all of this. All right, but it's going to show you the importance of helping out. Okay? Let's take a look at the final set of numbers here. Okay. Back to MrIncorvia.com. This is the last one is the University of Washington projections. So projections is they look at the mathematical models and they say, what is coming? What is it going to be like? All right. So here's the United States. So here you have 3 different lines, okay? The orange line is what has already happened, and then the dotted lines are what they are projecting the mathematical model is going to look like. You can kind of, if you just follow the curve here, they're like, this is where we are mathematically predicting that things are going to go. So the green line is where is called universal masks. That's like if everyone wears their masks, if everyone stays inside, if everyone does everything they can to be safe, this is the projection that we're going to have. And they have by this year, the end of the year, they are predicting that if everyone wears all their masks, that there will be about 300,000 COVID-19 deaths in America, which is a very high number. And then the red line, the one that goes whoop, all the way to the top, this is what's called mandates easing. So the mandates, like the mask mandates, the no restaurants mandates, the no school mandates, if we just ease them, meaning we take them away, if we get rid of all of our rules that we have, we are projected to have about 611,000 deaths, which is, very frightening. But you can see that is almost, twice, that's a little more than twice the number of deaths. So we can prevent half the deaths by just wearing a mask. And then the middle line here is kind of like what they are currently projecting, because they're like, we know we're not going to just get rid of all of our safety procedures, but we also know that we're not going to have like universal like everyone wearing a mask all the time. So it is their best mathematical guess of where we're going to end up. So right now, the University of Washington is projecting about 412 deaths at the end of the year. And I will tell you, I've been watching this number since like in the middle of March, and they have been right on the money predicting all this stuff. Here, so you can just scroll down here, okay? Here are like daily deaths and things like that. Daily infections, hospital resource use. Some of these charts are a little like down here are a little more like, I'm not entirely sure of what they're about. What's this compare chart here? Okay, so you can compare current projection, compare the United States to what country? Do they want to compare it to Canada? So here's Canada. So Canada is in purple here. So our neighbors right to the north, you can see that they, total deaths per 100,000, are doing a much better job of controlling the pandemic. Now, why do you think, guys, why do you think the numbers are going up in mid-November into December? Why do the numbers go up? Why do they not just stay flat going up? Like, why are they exponentially going up? It's because of that winter cold, right? This is when it's going to get cold and people are going to start going inside. All right. Okay. So that's it. That's what I got to show you today. Come check out, shopping. Yeah, that's right. Have holiday shopping to do. All right. Guys, I am going to, winter's cold. You guys are right on it. So it's really important that I hope that go play around with the virus simulator. It's really interesting. For me, the thing that was really, really interesting was how with just by lowering the infectiousness from 65% down to like 30%. Look, it takes care of itself. And in fact, I believe in the news very recently, there was the CDC said something like, if we all just wear masks for like 12 weeks, then it will take care of itself. This is what they're talking about. All right. They're saying, hey, if we can do this, guys, if we all just wear a mask, we can take care of it, And, personally, I just want to say that the hardest thing is identifying with a tiny green person on the screen, because you don't think of yourself as one of these swarming green guys. You think of yourself as you. I'm me. I have these thoughts, these wishes, these desires, these understanding, and I'm fine. Like, getting over that idea and thinking more of just like, hey, if I wear my mask, even though I'm one tiny little blip in there, it can make a big difference to people, So that's why. But you see people who make the opposite decision. They're like, you see them, you're in Walmart and they're not wearing a mask, or they're wearing it under their chin, and those are people who are like, I'm me and I'm fine, I don't need to worry, but they're really not helping other people out. So guys, do your part. Go to mrincorvia.com, check out all the cool stuff. You got a little bit of homework to do. Please email me questions that you have about COVID-19. I am setting up an interview with a director from St. Luke's, the hospital downtown, and I would like to have a whole bunch of questions from you guys. So what do you want to know about COVID? It's time to ask a real expert. All right, so homework assignment, very easy homework assignment to do. Just pull up your Gmail, type in, hey, when do we get to go back to school? Or, hey, I heard that, whatever. Type in your COVID questions, send them to me, and I will ask the expert. In fact, we'll just bring them right live on the show, and maybe you can ask them then too, okay? All right, guys. Super good to see you. When is that? That will be either next Pandemic Science, a week from today, or the one after that. All right, it depends on their schedule. They just are like, yeah, I'll do it, but then we haven't set anything up yet. So just send me a question sometime before the next class. So you have a week to come up with a question. But you know what you should do? Do it right now, because then you can just all week, you're like, yeah, I did that. I don't have to worry about it, Otherwise, what's going to happen is next class is going to come up and you're going to be like, oh, there was some kind of homework, but I forgot it. So open up your Gmails right now. Type in rincorvia@answercharterschool.org and send me a question. Okay? Cool. Sounds good. Guys, you're awesome, and I super miss you. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock is Answer Plays Minecraft. You're totally welcome to join us. And that's it. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Take care, guys.